Guys, I'm back. It's 10:37 right now, and I'm gonna try to do something for 2 hours. Yesterday, I kind of spent 30 minutes talking, and that was, I guess, kind of waste of time. So today it will be more of a. I'm gonna try to do an ASMR again because actually, like the other day when I was just quiet, just working, and when Phil was sleeping in the night, it was actually very efficient and got a lot done. So I'm gonna try that again today. So let's go and check out my status so far. So today, I have one more day. Maybe tomorrow, if I'm done early, I might work in the morning, maybe, or I might sleep instead. Let's see. Let me see here. I have to do this. So I didn't have a chance to really do any piano today. I'm just so busy preparing for the food and all that. But for piano, uh, 11 hours and 38 minutes, or no, 11 hours, basically 11 hours 30 minutes. And yesterday I did 30 minutes off screen because I didn't have a live. Today's Saturday, didn't do anything. Just didn't have a chance at all. I don't know why. It's only one night, so we're gonna have food. We're gonna have food for just when we get there. We're gonna go to, I think, I forgot where Stephanie said. But anyway, we're gonna go there. We're gonna have food like lunch, or I mean probably dinner, lunch, or whatever. And then tomorrow, the next day, we have breakfast and lunch. That's it. But I just spent so much time just preparing for food, and I just think something's wrong there. Usually when I kebab, so I was like cutting the meat and then like the veggies and like putting it together. And I guess that's not a really good idea. I'm gonna tell him I'm not doing kebabs no more. I gotta figure out something else. This just wasn't worth it. Anyway, so I have here actual designs listed is 102 and let's see. And my goal as of today, I need to make at least 167 designs. So we have here 74 that I have not finalized. So imagine if I finalize all 74, which is highly unlikely. Most likely, I usually with this amount, I probably would finalize maybe 50. So let's say 50 plus 102. Let's say that 154. So if I actually have the time to finalize everything and do the mock-up and the listing today, I would have, I'm still behind basically. And then so that means on Tuesday when I come back, which I probably will be recovering, I won't really have that much time to really do much. I would say I'm supposed to be at 192. So let's see. I need to create at least 40. If I create 40 designs today, which is very unlikely, 114. And let's say I do finalize all of them, which I'm not. And then I have this, and back on Tuesday, then I would be, oh, okay, so I kind of just need like about 30, about 20. Let me see what happens at 20. 20 design 196. So yeah, and then on Wednesday I probably won't have time at all unless I do it in the morning. And at night I want to go home. I'm gonna drive home, so that's like a 4-hour drive to California, where Mom is. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday I'll be in California. So those time I'm gonna focus and see if I can work at home. Because usually when I go home, I don't. It's really hard for me to work after hours, just because I just feel like I'm on vacation somewhat. But I'm gonna see. I really gotta focus. I might do more ASMR type videos, just get the work done as a live, and no talking as much because I'll be with Mom. And usually I'm in the living room, or I mean I could possibly go to my room, my mom's room. I sleep with Mom, and then do something there, but most likely not. But I'm gonna see. I'm gonna really take advantage of being at home, just get the work done, and let's see where that goes. You guys might be able to hear my family in the background talking and just random noises, mom's Chinese drama, Chinese Vietnamese drama. Yeah, maybe I would just do that. You can see how she treats me like a little baby. I'm still like a little girl. um, okay, yeah, but if I can focus all my energy only up to Saturday night, because pretty much Sunday night I'm gonna be busy. Yeah, be busy driving home again. So that means if I can get more designs at the time, that'd be great. Otherwise, we have a next month, and we will see where I'll be then. But anyway, now I'm gonna do ASMR. Just gonna stay quiet and focus. No talking except. Oh my god. My bad. Yeah. Anyway, here it is. So this is the current status. Let's save this. Okay. I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'll put it on KJ.
Went through a funnel or sent some marketing emails. You were digging it up. You were eating it up, bro. Like, you were excited. I remember when I first received the emails to one of Iman's first like promotions on YouTube, bro. I had that thing notified on my phone. I was checking my email every day. Like, I was literally bot mode. I was so into this big thing Iman was putting on. Yeah, so I mean, it's all about specific conditions. So don't treat everyone like they're in the same state as you. You know, you're hours into this course at this point. You're not normal. People don't do this. You know, people don't study marketing like you, and they're not as burned or as aware as you are as all of this stuff. But if you're selling to business owners, or you're sending outreach to business owners or guys who sell info, like, you got to know who you're talking to. And this is where balance is key. So let's look at this example. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it. It came out a little small in the diagram, but it looks sick though. So here we have balance. I want you to notice how both sides are saying the same what? They're pushing the same emotion. But look at the balance. Look at how cranked up the right side is versus the left side. So left side, how to write content without getting bored. I want you to know that this thing on the right is saying the exact same thing. This is a bullet from Ben Settle, by the way, from his Breakneck content sales page. He says how an almost inhumanely productive business author and copywriter who has written 100 books and probably 100 plus ads tricks his brain into cranking out exciting new content for up to 12 hours per day and without ever getting bored or burnt out. He's saying the same thing. Both examples push the same emotion, but the right side displays when you crank this emotion, pushing it up to 100%, where the left side pushes the same emotion, but more subtly. So like I said, if you're marketing to people who have been burned by this stuff and they don't like the salesiness, this might work less than just saying how to write content without getting bored. Especially in this age of organic content. People want to feel authentic and don't want to be too salesy, and there's a lot of like trust already inherently by the content and by the content creator, that you can just say this and it might work better. So as mentioned above, there's no universal right way to do it. The bullet on the left is not better than the bullet on the right. It all depends on the scenario. Who are you selling to? What state are they in? What type of copy are you writing? It all depends on what you're selling and who you're selling to. And this goes a little deep here, but even the same person can be in a different state. They might see this bullet on a YouTube video and feel turned off. They might see this bullet though on an Instagram ad and it might work. It gets tricky, but it all depends on what state of mind and what is the conditions of your audience's brain when they see this stimuli, when this piece of copy. And as a great rule of thumb, what I would say, and most of you guys are going to not take this advice, but you really should, because it's going to help 1,000,000% in your journey of learning this skill and this language, is to push your copy to 110% on the sales side to make sure you're pushing emotions. And then in your editing, tone it down to a level you think your audience is comfortable with. So what you would do is don't start by writing the thing on the left. Like we talked about above, you're no different from the rest of us humans. You want the easier route. And so you're going to want to just write this bullet and move on. But what you should do is write a bullet more like the one on the right. Write your headlines, your subject lines, make them sound crazy emotional, and then tone it down afterwards. It's a lot easier to go too far and then just pull it back than it is to do nothing and try to push yourself to go further later. So go too far and then tone it down. You want to view it kind of like a thermostat. That's how I used to teach this concept. It's the sales thermostat. So crank it all the way up until it's way too hot. Sounds a little bit crazy. And then tone it down to where it's just right. Cool. Let's go on to learning the language. The secret to making serious money with this skill is using the hyperlearning cycle to learn the language of copywriting as fast as possible. Like I talked about above, this is how I was able to make a year's progress in like 2 months and hit 10K a month the very next month. Is because I didn't view copywriting as another bag of tricks. I viewed it as a language. And if you can learn how to learn the language extremely fast, that's when you get ahead of everyone. You see, most people don't make money with copywriting is because they're learning it using what I call the snail approach. And that is as follows. If this is you right now, please, it's okay. Don't worry. It's why I'm making this video. You're all right. You can completely change. But just don't be offended. Actually, be offended. This should piss you off. You should not want to be slow. So here we go. You spend 95% of your deep work time watching copywriting YouTube videos. You spend 4% of your deep work time reading other people's copy. That probably isn't even that good. Then you spend 1% of your deep work time writing your own copy. And to be honest, based on what I've seen from students and everything, this is best case scenario. Like a lot of you guys aren't even doing deep work. And if you are, you're spending probably 99% of it watching YouTube videos or just watching modules. That's a recipe for subpar results at best. Now instead, I'd like to show you how to hyper learn the language of copywriting using a very simple daily routine. Do not fall for the trap that you need some kind of complex algorithmic crap to win. You don't. You need simple and consistent and effective. If you do the things that really push the needle every day, and you make it as simple as possible so you can do it every day, over time, it's going to be very hard for you to not win. So that's what the hyperlearning cycle is. You do, you learn, you study, you iterate, you do, and you repeat this every single day. This is exactly what I did to hit 10K a month of copywriting in 2 months. Exactly. I did this every day. I'm sure I slacked off 1 or 2 days, but like I was going crazy. So let's go over how to do it, and then we'll walk through a cycle together. Number 1, do. In the copywriting hyperlearning cycle, the do is the action. It's writing a piece of copy. So every day, if you just write one piece of copy, you can check off the do in this cycle. And the more time you have, the more experience you get, the longer form copy you write, the more copy you write, the more pieces of copy you write. But for now, don't overthink it. Just write a piece of copy every day. Ask yourself, how many days in the past couple months or since you started copywriting have you wrote a piece of copy that day? No. Seriously. And guys, I hope you know that I don't just teach this stuff to sound cool. I do it. I don't know if you guys have seen me, but I've uploaded every day on my Raw channel. On my like daily, it's called KJ Daily. And I upload a 10-minute video every day. Why? Because that's the hyper learning cycle of me speaking and me learning to make content. And so instead of watching a bunch of videos on speaking and trying to learn from a bunch of books and crap, I just speak every day. And I review it every day. And then I watch books. Then I not watch books, idiot. See how iterating my speaking right now? Just took note that I'm an idiot. Watch courses, read books after I've done the thing for the day. First thing I do is record stuff. So anyways, do. Write a piece of copy. Number 2, learn. Watch one of these modules again and take notes. So you can watch, YouTube videos, free YouTube videos, whatever. But the chance of that information is probably going to be very watered down, probably not very first principle. I would highly recommend you guys just watch these modules over and over again because it's first principle stuff. And I know this stuff works because it's made me almost $1 million in revenue in the first 2 years of me doing this. So watch these modules again, or read old copywriting books. I'll link my library below the school module. You guys might be a little bit tempted to go look at all my notes, but just look at the books and buy them if you want. But like I said, these modules have been made from the essence of all those books and then my own understanding, and then times 5. So I would just probably watch the modules. But anyways, number 3, study. Read a great piece of copy, break it down, and take notes. This was huge. So obviously doing was the most important thing I did, but the second most important thing that I did compared to everyone else is I was reading the language. I was trying to speak the language of copywriting by immersing myself in it every day. And they say the best way to learn Spanish is to either go to Mexico and spend a year there, or to watch Spanish-speaking television all the time, to immerse yourself in the language. The reason why you can't speak copywriting is because you're not sitting there and listening to it and reading it and soaking it in every single day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you a metric crap ton of free copy, of a metric crap ton of copy resources for you to just break down under this school module. We'll go over this in synthesis some more in module 8, it should be. But if you need somewhere, if your excuse is, I don't know what to study, I'm going to give it all to you. Super simple. And then number 4, iterate. Use your notes from learning and studying to rewrite your piece of copy from earlier. And so how I'm learning to speak is I'm speaking every single morning in a 10-minute video. I'm watching videos, I'm reading books, buying courses. I'm watching other speakers who are very, very good at the art of speaking. And then I'm taking notes from those two and I'm changing what I do the next day. And so what I did before this module is I learned a trick about reading a book for 5 minutes and trying to pronounce everything with a super wide mouth, hitting every single syllable like this. And it's funny, that helped me iterate and make this module a little bit more understandable. So, like I said, we'll walk through this entire cycle together in the synthesis module, but for now, let's start by just applying what you've learned today. I want to make this very actionable, very simple. So step 1, what we're going to do is we're going to study. We're going to do number 3. We're going to do the studying together right now. Hope you're excited. I've never seen anybody do this in the course. This is going to be super sick. So I want you to pause the video and make a copy of this Miro board. So don't pause it yet. Click on this link in the resources. You're going to pull up this Miro board. It's going to look just like this. What you can do is right-click these 3 dots, go to Board, Duplicate. If you don't have a Miro account, make one. It's free. Duplicate this board, and you're going to have a board like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do this. So we're going to duplicate. We'll do that. And now you'll have a board that you can draw on. So what we're going to do is you're going to pause this video. You're going to go line by line in each piece of copy, one at a time, making note of the core emotions, the general conditions, the subtext that the writer is trying to push with the text. Then you can resume this video and watch me break down the same copy to check your work. And I want you to repeat for each example. If you sit here and just like the way I talk and freak around and eat popcorn and never do anything, there's no way you actually learn this stuff. So you should feel bad if you don't do this, honestly, is what I'm saying. So what I want you to do is pull this up, and I want you to pause the video right now. Go to basic email number 1. This is an email from an old Iman Ghazi promotion, one of the first emails I ever studied. And I want you to take the pen for blue and highlight everywhere that you see the new emotion. How is he pushing new? Then I want you to do the same thing for easy and safe and big using these colors. And then after you're done, come back, unpause this video, and you're going to watch me do it right now. So pause the video, go do that, and I'll see you back in a second, and we'll go through this. All right. I want you to know, if you didn't pause the video, have fun being worse than everyone else. Being real with you here. So hopefully you pause the video, you went and did this, and we're going to crack into it. So I take this big gulp of spring water. All right, so what we're going to do is let's go through, And let's look for a new. How do people get rich? That's the big question. And also, you're gonna notice there's a lot going on here. I mean, this is a real email that made a lot of money, or was part of a promotion that made millions. And so there's so many things to take away. But for now, I just want you to focus on just the new Easy Safe bid. That's all I want to focus on. There's one thing that most millionaires have in common. You might think it's because none of them went to college or university, but it's not. In fact, most millionaires did not go to college or university. So that begs the question, what is one trait millionaires have in common? This, we're hinting that something new could be coming here. This one trait is honestly pretty new in this online space. Like, they're like, oh, trait. Sure, you could say they're all hardworking, determined, and confident. That sounds superficial. Lots of people embody those traits and aren't millionaires. That's no real formula for success. There's something much more deep-rooted than most millionaires have in common. The answer is the fact that none of them achieved their success at college, university, let alone school. Instead, over the course of the last 6 months, I launched an investigation into the truth behind the education system. What I found was it's been entirely detached from its roots. All millionaires follow the same 5 principles that originally made education so powerful. These 5 principles date all the way back to ancient Greeks. First, you may ask, it's called the rescue. Yeah. So honestly, I don't really see anything necessarily new here. The only thing I would say is the whole idea of it is kind of new. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something. It's funny because it's actually old. He's pushing the new emotion by talking about how old it is. And that creates curiosity, and it's something that's new to us. We don't know what this trait is. So yeah, not a whole lot of new there, honestly. So let's go over easy. Let's check that out. Let's take out the green. Like I said, you guys might be better than me. I'm trying to do this live for longer. A little bit tougher, but no excuses. Let's go. I'm exposing their secret. Exposing is new, honestly. Should have put that on there. How do people get rich? That's no big question. It's not. Okay, this pushes easy a little bit because they did not go to these things. What is the one trait? Our billionaires, there's no form of success. The answer, introduce the low school instead. The truth, attachment's roots. All right, we have 5 principles. And you get access, all you need to do, boom, there's new. So the action, what we want here, is to click this thing to save your spot. Best part, 100% free and online. Sorry, easy. 100% free, 100% online. Easy, easy, easy. As soon as you can, sending a special message. You sign up now, that's new. Sorry, I had to warm up for a second, guys. I had to warm up. So actually, there's a good bit of new here. So we've got new and special message, private WhatsApp. You can only get it here. Never say publicly. That is pushing only a little bit because you can only get it there. 5, lead to real success, truth. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'd say that's pretty good for new and easy. Let's talk about safe. Let's see if we can see some safe in here.
Something's wrong with this.
There's so much at work here that, and what I might do is we might cover this email again to show you like all the other psychological stuff here. This is more of if you knew where this email fit into the whole promotion, you'll see how insane it is. But we'll go over that later. What are we going over? We're looking for safe. Okay, principles, foundation. All right, foundation of real success. Date all the way back. That feels safe. Once again, we're talking about how it happened. It's historical. It's proven. First episode, how do I get access? The best part. As soon as you can. Real education. That's pretty safe. Be in touch. Okay. Now, big. This is where we're going to start marking stuff up. Rich is big. The whole thing. I'm exposing their secret. This seemed massive. 1 thing that millionaires have in common with the college university. Okay. Launched this investigation into the truth behind the education system. Do you feel how big that sounds? Also, 6 months adds to the big because it took a while. In the online space, 6 months is a freaking eternity. 5 principles a day, all the way back. This is big. This is big. The rescue. I mean, frick. The even name sounds big. This is like they were so good at creating the big emotion in these things. Like, it is insane. Save your spot. Sounds big. Get access as soon as you can. Sign up as soon as you can. FOMO. Learn the truth behind the education system. Real success. Real education. Save your spot now. Yeah, pretty cool. So a lot of emotions going on here. As you'll see, we're going to go into even more. Some of these are going to get crazy, but this is a little bit more subtle on the emotional side of things. What he's doing here, we'll talk about this later, is he's throwing rocks and confirming suspicions a lot. Because what this email does is it's building trust for when he really sells on the webinar type videos. And so not a whole lot as far as the emotions as some stuff, but yeah, you guys get the point. We'll go over that later. Email number 2, this is actually one of my OG emails that was on my email list when people signed up. So here we have, I can't take it anymore. We'll just go through line by line and do each one. So I can't take it anymore. This sounds big. I've had enough. Big. If I hear one more boomer say, just go to college and get a stable job, I might puke. How can they be so blind? That sounds big. We have the greatest opportunity in the history of mankind, yet they want us to play it safe. This is a crazy line because it's like huge, big, also throwing rocks at boomers. Get real. They might have been right 30 years ago, but this isn't 30 years ago. They're missing one giant fact that us young kids know. The internet changed everything. So I am literally just shoving the big emotion like crazy right here. Then we get into here's how. You can learn anything in the world for free. So we'll talk about, that sounds pretty easy. Easy. You can level up high value skills that actually make you a ton of money. This would be big. Big, yeah, we're talking about big here as well. Boom. You can build businesses with insane leverage using low cost or free tools. That's easy. You can leverage social media algorithms to grow and monetize an audience. That would be big. Getting the result without spending a dime. So we talk about easy here, and this is the easy on the resource side of things. You can network with high-value individuals all over the world. If you aren't playing the great online game, you'll be left in the dust. So I am like just shoving, I'm spamming the big emotion like crazy. So if you're ready to start playing, be on the lookout for these emails. I'll be giving away tons of dope value every single week. I'm going to show you these boomers the power of the internet. So once again, just more big here. So yeah, this is really an email just to honestly get people excited to open my future emails. So the reason that I chose big is because I wanted them to sign up to my email list and be like, wow. I wanted them to feel like this is different. I wanted them to, actually the whole email, by pushing big, pushes the new emotion to my whole email list. Like signing up to KJ stuff is new because this is something big, it's different, it's crazy. So hopefully that makes sense. But this is what you guys need to do, for yourself and break this stuff down. All right. Now let's go over sales letter 1. I forgot to mention it in the last one, but if you haven't paused the video and done this, go pause the video, break this one down, let's go through it together. This is a little sales letter from Zarak. So he cranks the sales thermometer pretty high because he's selling to people like us. So yeah, you'll see it's pretty good. So we'll go through it. All right. Here we have attention. What is that? Big. The biggest, here we go. The biggest profit opportunity in internet money history is upon us. Screaming big. How I use AI. Actually, we'll do big, run 15, operate a 7-figure run rate. Big. But this is easy, right? Anytime you use AI, you just screaming easy. Also, easy with one copywriter. This will allow you to add 10 additional clients. Without this, easy. All of this is what? Big. So he is just hitting us immediately with a lot. This is also pushing big. You see where it says 10 additional clients in all caps. There's a reason he's capitalizing this stuff. It's because he's emphasizing that emotion he's trying to push. What you're about to read could cause a bloodbath in the B2B marketing industry. It will leave hundreds of thousands jobless, broke, and wondering where did it all go wrong. While the savvy action takers win the lion's share of clients. He's just spamming big and easy right here. With leaner teams, less stress, and higher profit margins. So here we have a lot of emotion in just what we're looking at right now. And notice how he channels this. We'll talk about this later. But he channels all that emotion to this one word. The reason is simple. It's like all this emotion is now focused. So all that you just felt is like, boom, right here. The reason is simple. I've unlocked the most powerful artificial intelligence copywriting SOP on the planet. Once again, he's tying all that into massive, easy artificial intelligence copywriting SOP. Notice how he says AI, the full word, to make it sound bigger and even easier. I've unlocked the most powerful, super big SOP. It sounds easy to a business owner on the planet. Big. If you don't pay attention to what I'm about to show you, you're gonna be left behind. Big FOMO. This is so powerful that my agency literally hit a 7-figure run rate. Big. Hundreds of hours of research, trial and error. He's just spamming big like crazy. That's all he's really doing here. I put together a program that allows my entire business to run off one copywriter and artificial intelligence. Also, I forgot to add, this is also playing into a lot of new. So as you'll notice here, this, he's probably not heard, no one's ever heard of this. This sounds new and only. He's talking about everything that he has done, which makes it feel like only. So we do a program to run my entire business, one copywriting, one copywriter and artificial intelligence. Once again, we're doing big and easy here, just all throughout this. Still big. Benefits. It's just going to be big and easy throughout this whole thing. I mean, you can go through and see it, but like, copywriter makes more money. AI lets him write better copy at a faster rate. He's able to take on more accounts without decreasing quality. Big and easy. Profit margins skyrocket with AI. Big, easy. You defeat the inherent problem of B2B service as your ability to scale don't are limited by how many employees you have. Whoa, that's really big. It sounds super easy. What else we got here? Here we go. Yeah, we actually have some safe going on. This is nice. We have some safe here. Advanced, but he's addressing one of the biggest false beliefs of like selling and doing something like that. Why not profit from it first? So this is also kind of a little bit to safe emotion. Cool. Tell you how to get on this FAQ. In the FAQ, what he's doing is this is just easy and safe. So can a novice copywriter use this? Yeah. And does it work for email copy? No. This is for. You guys can continue reading on. He's using FAQ to continue pushing these emotions. But yeah, look at that, guys. A lot of big and easy at the start of his message. And that's very important, very important. So let's move over to Sales Letter 2, which is one of my sales letters that did almost 100K. It was like 90 something in total in like 6 months or so. Most of that being the first 3 that I launched it. Pretty crazy. So let's break it down. Sales Letter number 2. KJ the Anti-Guru reveals the real secret to making money online. Big. How anyone, what is that? We're immediately freaking pushing the easy thing. Can master the art of digital persuasion, the mechanism itself. Here we have, let's see, we've got easy going on. No, not easy. We've got new going on immediately. So take out the blue. We've got new. Digital persuasion also sounds big. The way that I positioned, I remember spending a lot of time on this headline. And I went with master the arts because it added this big feeling to it. Can make 5-15K per month. That sounds big as well. From anywhere in the world. At this point, I'm pushing easy, like crazy. So I want people to feel, and I know this because of my audience. Most of my audience was from a third world country, third or second world. And so by saying anywhere in the world, all of a sudden, I just nailed it. Yeah, and here we have a little bit of safe, a little bit of big going on by specific numbers and saying you can make a lot in this amount of time. Also, it sounds easy as well because of the time limit being lower. So a lot going on there. Cool. Have you ever wondered, why does it seem like everyone's making money except me? What's the real secret behind these gurus? Here I'm just doing a little bit of digging up pain. But as far as emotions, I'm kind of pushing the big because I'm saying there's a real secret that no one's telling me. If that's you, I've got your back, brother. Here I'm just making you feel a little bit of safety. Not actually, because it's not really any credit or anything, but just I've got your back. The next few minutes, what is that? That is easy. I'm going to reveal the actual secret. So we have easy and big going on. Same secret allowed me to do this much in this amount of time. So we've got big. And to be honest, it's not even a secret. It's actually very simple. If you'll notice, me and Zarak are doing kind of the same kind of thing here. It's a lot of big, a lot of easy to start the message and the lead, and then we're bringing it to a point by saying it's actually very simple. So all these emotions, boom. The reason is simple. It's actually very simple. If you notice, we don't actually reveal anything. That's part of copy. You just continue leading them on. It's very simple. What is this? Massive, easy emotion. Despite what the gurus have told you, you don't make money online by doing all this stuff. Now, what you guys might not realize is this is pushing the easy emotion because all these things are hard. And by saying that this stuff is what I'm selling is not this stuff, they're thinking that it's easy because it's not these things that are hard, by contrast. I'm also throwing a lot of rocks here. We'll talk about that and then following modules. Forget about that. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're not making money online, it's because one simple reason. You haven't learned the most valuable skill of the 21st century. A lot of big here. The most valuable skill of the 21st century. I could have just said you haven't learned a skill. But I played it up with big for a reason, guys, for a reason. I was in a dark place. It sounds pretty big. I had one goal, make money online. I tried everything. I tried and failed. I was ready to give up. A few weeks later, I discovered it was going to change my life forever. A new skill. Look at that. Pretty cool, eh? Literally using new right there. So that would actually be blue. The brand new skill that made me this much big. It's normal Monday nights. He was making over this much. So here I'm talking about what I'm doing is I'm driving insane emotions over this thing, this skill that I'm going to reveal. So before I reveal it, I want there to be a huge emotional attachment to it. So I say, with this skill, Dan made this much money in online income, so very big, and then I'm just slapping it with easy. Without employees, without starting this, without doing this. And the craziest part, he was only working 4 hours a day. Crazy. I was speechless. Once again, I'm playing up the emotions. By me showing how emotional I was when I discovered it, that's going to transfer to them. I had to figure it out. Dan had mastered one extremely valuable skill, the most valuable skill. Once again, we're talking about big here. The name of this golden skill, even the word that is just trying to make it sound big. Digital persuasion. As I studied Dan's content, I began to understand the real reason I was broke wasn't because of this. It wasn't because of this. It was because of this. I became obsessed with persuasion. Here I'm just telling, we're doing story selling, which we'll cover in the following modules. If you combine persuasion with the power of the internet, you can persuade more people in less time without needing any money to start. So here, I knew that this was probably the most important part of this entire sales page up to this point, is I'm about to reveal this thing that I built all this emotion for. So what I did is I wanted to go super big, super easy. So as you notice in here, we've got a lot of big and a lot of easy. So the real secret to getting rich insanely fast, what did I talk about? Fast, speed, FOMO. If you combine persuasion with the power of the internet, power being freaking adding to the big emotion, you can persuade more people in less time without needing any money to start with. Meaning more money, less time, less effort. Big, bigger, faster, easier, all from learning one skill, digital persuasion. Now here's where we tie it all together with the new. They've never heard this mechanism before, ever. So this is all this emotion is on this new thing they can only get here. This is why the sales page did so many numbers with such little traffic, and it's still printing. I mean, insane conversion rates. So instead of spending time, energy, and money persuading people in person, these guys were persuading millions of people at once using the power of the internet. Big and easy. Again. Everywhere I look, so I began to see digital persuasion at work. This is, once again, just adding the big emotion to the new. So all you can do, all this. This is all digital persuasion. Whoa, it's crazy. Here we talk about a lot of just safe. I think I had orange for that. So I'm showing actual proof. I'm giving specific numbers. I'm literally using big here, so big and easy. I go over some more, numbers, specific numbers, proof. So at this point, I'm swapped more on how do I show them that this was real. So I've got their interest. They see how the potential, but now they're a little skeptical. How do they know that this stuff actually works? How did it work for me, and can it work for them? So by doing that, I'm showing them all this proof, and then I'm showing a lot of proof. And I'm adding to the big and easy emotion by showing all these guys who made a lot of money doing the same thing I did, and all this emotion, the safe and big and excitement, is all around digital persuasion. And cool. Here you can see me going crazy again because I'm about to release I'm about to drop the price and show them everything. I'm about to, it's about to get crazy. So what do? Not many people know this skill yet. FOMO, opportunity, big. There's a massive opportunity. I'm literally spelling it out for them. Massive opportunity for those who learn immediately. Big, FOMO, fast. So the question is, how do you learn it fast and make your first $1,000 online? Then, easy. Without doing this. I got you, bro. That's why I've done everything and I know about digital persuasion. And here at the last second, I could have just left it, but instead I wanted to throw in another big hitter. The exact knowledge that's generated me and my clients over $350K in the past few months into something that will change your life forever. Digital Persuasion School. Boom. I'm dropping the thing. This is the core. Notice how the entire course is around this brand new mechanism. That's it. That's why it sold so much. And then you can see me go crazy on the bullets in here. Scale any business. Take full advantage of the attention economy to make you and your clients rich. Just that one bullet just sounds like big, massive. There's a lot of big and easy in here. Because here I'm trying to stack up value. It's big, it's easy. I'm adding safe. It's all in here. And here we want to really push this big FOMO to get that action out of them, to click the button, to buy now. You're still early. FOMO. Save your spot before it's too late. FOMO. This is the opportunity you've been waiting for. Big FOMO. This is a really good. I did a really good on scarcity. This is probably the best scarcity urgency I've ever done. It's really good. Anyway, I'm talking about how this information is so valuable. The more people who have it, the less it becomes because of how crazy it is. And now is your chance. You'll never be this price again. Buy now. Then I actually had the prices to show that this is legit happening. Does this actually work? We're just pushing some safe, a lot of wins. Yeah, no wonder that page did so well. It's pretty good, even if I say so myself. Pretty nuts. So this is really cool. I have another one here that you can break down on your own time. I'm using the description, but this one is kind of the same deal here. Just a long sales letter, and just look at how they do big and easy and safe, and it's so sick. It's dope. Also, what I want to do is I wanted to throw in some more. I know a lot of you guys work with fitness people and you are interested in doing more fitness type copy. But I was giving you two great examples to break down over here. Some good examples, and then also just some examples of people who don't do it as well. And I'll say that this is completely bad, and you're seeing just a page. You're not seeing the whole funnel, the whole sales message. So it's impossible to really say how bad it is. But just notice the lack of emotion in a lot of this copy versus this copy. So check it out. Notice how your copy might be more like this, kind of worse examples, and needs to be more like this, where we're pushing some serious emotions here. So really cool. And I hope you guys enjoyed that little section of us doing this together. And like I said, I'll put together a giant resource of great copy that you can break down every single day in the resource section in this module on School. All I ask is that you promise me something. Promise me that you will not overthink, you won't procrastinate, you're not going to spend 8 hours breaking down copy when you should be following the entire cycle, meaning writing a lot of copy. Promise me that you're going to write just as much as you break down, and you will be fine. You'll be crushing it. Moving on to our final section here, iterating subtext in your copy. So there's a lot going on in those examples, way more than just the subtext, but I want to focus on just this concept that you learned today. It's very powerful. And I want to make these concepts as tangible and useful as possible. So let's go over a very step-by-step, notice what I did there, process that you can use to improve the subtext, meaning the emotion pushing in your copy. It's the biggest problem with you guys right now is you don't know what to write, meaning you don't know what words to write, because you don't even know what subtext you're trying to accomplish. The reason why you hate sitting down to write some copy is because you don't know where to start. But if you understand, okay, what am I supposed to be doing right here? Am I pushing big? Am I pushing easy? When you get an idea of how to do that, the writing becomes easy because you just write whatever you think is going to push that emotion. So let's go over this. Like I said, this is one of the many processes we'll cover throughout this course, all of which you can use in the iteration phase of hybrid learning cycle. So throughout this course, for everything, we'll be giving you step-by-step ways to implement this and make it very actionable. But today, I just want to talk about the subtext version. So in your iteration time, so what we did is we just studied. What you're doing right now is learning. So all you have to do on your own is doing the thing and then iterating. So I'm going to show you how would you iterate using these concepts. Let's do it. So when reviewing copy that you've wrote, you want to ask yourself, which of the big four emotions do you think is the most important to push in this specific piece of copy for this specific audience? And so different pieces of copy are going to have different main emotions you're going to be pushing. If it's something more like a hype opt-in, or it's a dropping the price and getting people to buy now, it's obviously going to be much more on the big side, the fast. You want to create that emotion. Versus if you're sending out, some kind of value email, just targeting some limiting beliefs, you might want to talk about the easy side. You want to show how easy your opportunity is and break their beliefs and make it seem super easy and that anybody can do it. So it's important to remember, what is the main emotion you're trying to push? And if you have a long sales letter, obviously there's going to be all of them. But it's a good question to ask yourself. Number 2, where and how can you push the easy emotion more? So if you notice in me breaking down my sales page, there's a lot of places where I could have just continued on writing and went to the next section. But I took time to push these emotions a little bit harder. And that's because I iterated on that sales page a lot of times. And I would ask myself, where can I push easy more? Where can I push new more? Where can I push safe more? And where can I push the big and FOMO more? And then number 6, which ties it all together, is based on my audience and this specific piece of copy, should I crank up the emotions or should I tone it down a bit? And if you're going through this question, you should honestly ever be asking, should you tone it down? Because like I said before, you want to just put as much emotion as possible into that piece of copy as you can to start with. That way you only ever have to tone it down. So those questions will make you a lot of money if you continue to do them daily. You're going to learn this language and you're going to make some serious progress, man. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, you'll be on the fast track to writing extremely compelling copy in no time. And wow, thanks for being here with me today. Quick reminder, these modules take a lot of time, a lot of pain, a lot of effort. It's my calling. I feel like God has given me a gift to do this, so I'm going to do it no matter what. But I can't lie. Seeing your guys' wins and your breakthroughs and your thoughts and feedback on these modules gives me so much energy, and it helps me push harder than I can without it. So if you have time, and if this genuinely gave you a breakthrough, just genuinely helped you make some money, do something, please just let me know. Don't fake it. I want to hear only good, genuine feedback. Even if it's bad, if you have some suggestions, send me those too. And it just gives me so much energy to know that the pain that I go through making these is so worth it to see a life change from you guys. So love y'all, and I will see you in the next module. Welcome to the third module in the Copywriting 101 course. Now in this module, we have something extremely, extremely important to cover, talking about how to create trust in your audience. Because without trust, selling becomes extremely hard, if not impossible. Meaning the following concepts are extremely important if you want to sell anything online. Now, quick disclaimer, I highly recommend watching every previous module before this one because, as always, we'll be building on the concepts we've already talked about there. And if you don't understand those in depth, well, applying these will be hard and complicated. So, with that out of the way, let us dive straight in. The bridge of trust. There's an old Hormozi quote that I love. I don't know where he got it from. Maybe he made it up. But it's that sales is a transference of belief over a bridge of trust. So as you can see in this little diagram, we have you and your audience. And in order to transfer the belief they need to buy your stuff and change their life, they have to trust you. So if people don't like and trust you, it doesn't matter how good your copy and sales message is, they're not gonna buy. And if some of you are having trouble getting clients and selling products online or selling for your clients, it's probably because of this. It doesn't matter how good your copy is, your sales messages, your belief shifting is, if people don't trust you, they don't trust you, meaning they're not going to buy from you. They're not going to believe a word that you say. So a simple example is, imagine a friend that you love and trust deeply. This person has never lied to you, they've never led you astray, and they call you and they say, yo, I got this thing you have to buy. It is amazing. I know it'll change your life because it's changed mine. Dude, you got to get this thing like now. On the flip side, let's imagine you have some sleazy guy from high school that you remember. He was kind of a douche and always was trying to like get one over on people, always only looking out for himself. He's lied to you before. And he comes to you and gives you this elaborate sales pitch about the same product. He has all the witty responses to your objections and he sells this thing like crazy. And from a sales point of view, he's crushed it. But there's still a low chance you buy from him. Why? Because you don't like him. You don't trust him. It doesn't matter what he says. And so oftentimes, us copywriters and marketers get so tied up in the funnels and the selling tactics that we forget the most obvious question, which is, do they even like and trust us? It seems so obvious, but man, we forget it because we get tied up in all the fancy stuff and forget the basics. And so in the future modules, we're going to dive deep into crafting compelling sales messages and how to chain beliefs and proof together to make your product and service irresistible emotionally and logically, but none of that matters if your audience doesn't like and trust you. Hence why this module comes first. Now, before we get into this, I want to give just a quick warning. These principles are extremely powerful and should not be taken lightly. And I don't say that as some kind of sales method here. You've already bought this thing, right? So I'm not selling you any further. I'm simply saying, be careful. This stuff is extremely powerful. And these are the exact principles that have led to starting the world's largest brands. But these very same principles have created cults, which led to the death of their followers. So before continuing, I don't mean to be scary or anything. I'm just saying, please promise me that you'll devote your new power to good and not evil. Sell products, concepts, frameworks, services that bring good to the world, not evil. So use these to serve the market, not yourself. So, with that out of the way, you're probably like, what the frick is this going to contain? It's going to be good, trust me. Let's go over the 11 variables of likeness. The liking principle states that we are more likely to be influenced by people we feel a connection with or we like. Translation, we're more likely to trust people we like. And so if you look at this bridge of trust, each brick is made up of liking. So you trust someone because you like them. And we're going to go over the 11 variables, what creates that likeness. And so if you understand how to use each variable and you use them, you will create this bridge of trust like crazy. It'll be solid, it'll be firm, it'll be easy for people to trust you and for you to transfer beliefs. That's the whole point of this entire module. So in Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, he describes how people prefer to say yes to those that they like. And multiple studies have not only shown this to be true, but to be one of, if not the most important variables when it comes to someone making a purchasing decision. So when it comes to someone deciding whether to buy or not to buy, whether they like you or not is one of the most important variables. And after studying countless books and almost doing 1 million in sales online, I can tell you, he's freaking right. Liking is everything. There's been so many times where my funnel has sucked and my copy has sucked. I didn't know what I was doing. but because people liked me, they bought. Think about you. Maybe you bought Copy Lead back when I had the like. I've been through so many variations of terrible VSLs and terrible funnels, and the entire time people still bought. I was still doing over, $50K a month, $40K a month, no matter what. Why? Because I just think people liked me. Liking is everything. And that's why I want to share with you the 11 variables of likeness. Because when you focus on leveraging these variables, you'll find that your audience will begin to fall in love with you or your client. So here's our little diagram here. And what I want to do is we're going to go over each principle one by one. And then I'll show you some examples and practical applications for each. And then later on the module, I'll show you how all of these tie into real funnels for real brands, real personal brands, to see how the best of the best are using these to sell products. I hope you're ready. Let's get right into it. So like I said, each one of these principles is like a brick in your bridge of trust. So the more you use these, the more trust you have, the more you can sell to your audience. So number one, relatability, similarity. We like people that we relate to. People who share the same feelings, the same internal emotions as we do. We like to buy from people and brands that get us, that understand what we're going through. They understand how I feel. They understand how I'm feeling. They understand. They know me. Also, we like people we are similar to. Those who have the same traits externally as we do. People who look like us, who think like us, who are in the same situations as we are. Meaning they share the same background. So people around the same age, people from your same hometown or country, people from the same culture, the same interests, they like the same sports, the music, hobbies, same values and opinions or appearance, social status. So relatability is more on the emotional side of things. So you can look super unsimilar to someone, but still relate to them. That's how it differs. Relatability is more internally. Similarity is kind of more external factors. But these tie together to make this one important statement, which is the more your audience believes you feel how they feel, like the things they like, and look and talk the way they look and talk, the more they'll like and trust you. And so a great example is memes. The reason why memes do so well is because they're extremely relatable. Whenever you see a meme that goes viral, it goes viral because so many people have felt or they know that same vibe the meme is giving off. That's what makes it so funny. And that's why memes go a lot more viral than just a bunch of words, because the picture can convey so much more relatability and emotion, and that sparks that liking, and people share the meme and it goes crazy. Another example is when you talk about someone's specific conditions, they feel understood and similar to you and your brand. This is why this one is number one, by the way. Because if you've gone through specific conditions, you understand that, wow, if you can use their language and use their pain points, use their desires, talk about situations they've been in, it creates that relatability, similarity, which creates trust. So using similar language, talking about similar interests, similar hatreds and enemies, similar clothes, similar accent, etc. What's funny is I was in Africa a couple years ago, and I was in West Africa, where not many people go, in Sierra Leone. And it was so funny because, this is gonna sound terrible, I was never so happy to see a white person in my life when I ran into this random white person. Because it's nothing but just African people, and they're everywhere, which is dope, but I am not similar to them. I don't speak their language. Even when they speak English, their accent was so strong I could barely even understand it. You just want to kind of be around someone who gets where you're from. And so we ran into this one white dude, literally one person out of thousands that we talked to, this one white guy, and we were like, yo, you're from America. He's like, yeah, bro. And I never felt this strong connection to some random dude in my life, just because I was around so many things and people that I was unfamiliar with. As soon as I saw someone I was familiar with, it was like, oh, dude, you speak English. That's awesome. Let's talk about English stuff. So yeah, that's what it feels like when you are the only brand that's talking and looking the way that your audience looks and talk. So, pretty cool. Another example is, I use bro a lot. Brother. Dude. All these are language that you guys probably use. And any females watching this, I'm sorry, I'm not a female, so it's hard for me to kind of relate to y'all, or it's hard for me to be similar to y'all, but I can relate to y'all by saying that we all come from the same feeling of wanting to be above average, wanting to set out on our own and build our own business. That's me relating to you, no matter what you look or sound like or what gender you are. Pretty cool. You also can see me doing this, talking about interests. So I talk about video games. Why? Because you guys love video games. Therefore, I talk about it, which makes you relatable to me. And I don't do that out of some evil intention. I genuinely freaking love video games. And I've been addicted to them for a long time and am a recovering addict. So when I talk about that, that's true of me. It relates to you guys. And you guys are like, yeah, frick yeah, we love video games. You get the point. All right, moving on to familiarity, consistency. So we like things that we're familiar with. Familiarity feels safe. Our brains are wired to prefer what we recognize, being faces, names, accents, style, because based on past experiences, it's less likely to be a threat and more likely to be rewarding. This is known as the mere exposure effect in psychology. So the more that we're exposed to something, the more we tend to like it just because it's familiar. So as you'll notice in a lot of these, they sound very similar, but there's little nuances that are different. So the difference between familiarity and these two above is familiarity is just how many times you've seen something. It feels safe. And just like the Africa example, when I was in Africa, it's so weird because they have the same things, but they're not made out of the same materials. So they have cars, but they don't look like American cars. They have houses, but they don't look like American houses. They're made out of like cinder blocks and cement. It just looks so unfamiliar. And you don't realize it until you're somewhere out of your comfort zone that's unfamiliar. You don't realize how familiar you are with the world around you that you live in on a daily basis. And what's cool about this is consistency creates predictable familiarity. So when someone sees you show up in the same way, same appearance, same energy, same values, they begin to feel like they know you and can trust you, even if they don't really know you that well or at all. So remember from last module, predictability feels safe, and people trust what they can predict. And so when you are consistent, you feel safer than someone or some brand that is inconsistent. So these are a little bit complicated, but the examples make better sense of it. So first thing is your family. There's a funny Sam Ovens quote where he talks about how the only reason you like your family is because of impressions. Impressions. That's why you love your family, because you've seen them more than you've seen anyone else. So you're more familiar with them, meaning you like them. This is a classic rule of advertising. If you've ever wondered, when you see some ads and they are terrible, you're like, how are they still running this ad? It's not good at all, especially on TV, commercials. You got to realize it's because it's creating familiarity. Even if the ad was like terrible, if they put it in front of you enough times, you begin to trust this brand more than another brand who hasn't been put in front of you. And this works really well for stuff that people aren't like going and seeking out, for example. I don't know if you guys not from America might not get this, but there's a Cheez-Its commercial. I'm going to show it to y'all real quick. It's hilarious. Cheez-Its, who's the cheesiest?
No, I wonder if it's
So this Cheez-Its commercial has ran for, I kid you not, I think it might be older than 4 years. I feel like I've seen this commercial a bajillion times. But they run the same commercial every year, again and again and again. And it's because they're creating familiarity. And so you might not want a cheese cracker at that moment. But when you go to the grocery store and you decide you want a cheese cracker, even if the advertisement sucks, you don't know the other brands. The only brand that you've seen is Cheez-It. So what do you choose? Cheez-It. All because it's familiar to you. You've seen it before. This is also why I do daily uploads. So part of one of the principles for my new daily channel that I'm testing is if I can create that familiarity with me, people will trust me more. They'll show up to my videos, they'll buy my stuff, and I'll be able to help them. And so by uploading daily, I'm getting 7 times the familiarity. And by not missing an upload, it creates this consistency. And so when someone goes to invest in my stuff or someone else's stuff, they look at me and think, wow, KJ's here for me every single day. He's consistent. And subconsciously they think, wow, okay, that's safe. That creates that feeling of safety. And so they end up going with me over the person who uploads every 3 months, because they're like, well, what if they just stop? What if they stop helping? What if they don't work with the same niche anymore? Yeah, so pretty cool. That ties into a very important concept, which is the same niche, same offer, same product. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you'll understand that I've changed my funnel, I've changed the style of my videos, I've changed probably every freaking thing you can change. I've even changed my voice. I'm in the process of trying to change it. So I changed everything. But when it comes to the things that really matter, I have not touched. Meaning I still help the same exact people as the very day I started. I still have the same offer as the very day I started. I still have the same product as the very day I started. Copy Elite has not changed at all, meaning the product, like, I still sell Copy Elite. I haven't swapped to a brand new niche. I haven't swapped to some different offer. I haven't swapped to building a whole new product around speaking or a fitness product. I'm doing the same thing. And because I've done that for a year, those of you that have been following me for a year, you feel safer than someone who just popped on the scene. Even if they're better than me. You're like, well, this KJ guy, he's been around for a long time. I know he's not going to swap up. I know he's not going to switch up and go just try to chase the bag because he's been here. So yeah, familiarity, consistency. And if you grew up in a Ford family, you think that Ford is the superior truck because you're familiar with it. Your granddad drove a Ford, your dad drove a Ford, they bought you a Ford, and because you're familiar with Ford, you just think that it's better.
It was cold.
Same is true for Chevy. If you grew up in a Chevy family, your whole family had Chevys, they talked about how good Chevy was, you rode in it since you were little, you drove it when you turned 16, you like Chevys because you're familiar. And you'll make up all these reasons why you actually like it more, but to be honest, you know it's because you were just raised in it. That's why you're familiar with it. Another good example is Odablock. So there's this streamer. If you guys don't know, I used to play a lot of RuneScape. Let's see. Odablock. And there's this guy called Odablock, and I've been following him for a long time, and I'm not a huge fan of this guy, or I wasn't. He uploads these videos every single day. And what's funny is, because he uploads every day, very, very consistently, and he has for a long, long time. Like, I've not been a fan of this guy. I didn't like him when he first came on the scene. I watched a ton of other YouTubers. But here's the difference between him and the other ones. He has been dog-headed consistent since the very start. The dude just continues to put out content. And so what would happen is, when I would want to watch a RuneScape video, there wouldn't be any out there, except for Odablocks. And so I was forced to just watch his video. And so when I watched it enough times, I actually began to like it. He didn't really change that much. It's just that I became more familiar with him. I understood the way that he did things and why he did things. And now, I kid you not, I watch his videos every freaking day. And what's funny is the same is true as one of my best friends. He hated Odablock. And now he'll send me his videos. Just because, this guy is just consistent. And the more familiar we got with him, the more we end up liking his stuff. And now we watch him every day. So, really cool. Number 3, authenticity, humanity. So we like people who feel authentic, people who seem real. This is why AI has got a long way to go. And I saw a cool music video. Let me show you guys this. What is this guy name? Flume. So Flume put out a music video the other day, and it's crazy. It's a wild looking video. Like, you can watch it on your own, but it just looks so weird, like very weird. The song is incredible, but really weird animation. And a lot of the comments were talking about how the creativity is insane, and there's no way that AI would just make something like this. Because it's authentic. It's just weird. And so we like things that feel real, that feel human, authentic. And so what they'll say is, oh, they're being themselves. It doesn't feel like they're pretending. I can trust what they're showing me. And part of that is we like people who feel human, meaning perfectly imperfect. So since we know that deep down that no one's perfect, no one's lived a perfect life except Jesus. Jesus is the only one who lived a sinless life just so he could die for our sins if we believe in him. We have a relationship with God again. But because we're not Jesus and no one else has ever been Jesus, we distrust people who come across as perfect because deep down we know it's a lie. We feel like they're lying to us because we know that there's no human that's perfect.
No.
So when someone does show us their humanity, it builds trust because we realize they're imperfect just like us. So when someone seems perfect, they appear to be dishonest. When someone seems imperfect, just enough of imperfection, they seem honest. We want to trust them. They mess up, they get nervous, they overthink, they failed before. Hey, they're just like me. So the more that your audience believes you're being real and not performing, the more they see your human imperfections, the more they like and trust you. And so an example could be talking about your past failures. And bonus points if it's relatable and similar to your audience's failures. Using your real voice, not corporate speak or perfect grammar. So you see in my sales messages, I'll say, bro, and don't worry, RN, meaning right now. And yeah, just talking like not corporate. If I was to, what's funny is I use ChatGPT to help me structure some of these modules once I have all the essence of it written myself. But every time I have to go back through and reword it because it sounds too corporate. Even when I tell it to use my voice, it still can't do it because it's too corporate speak. And people like mistakes. Laughing at yourself, showing mistakes in real time. These are great ways to show humanity. Showing and saying that you don't know everything. It's a great way. And a good example that I used to do in the past, and I still do. So one of the examples of, let's see, in my daily videos, I am literally just trying to be as authentic and human as possible. I made a recent video talking about how entrepreneurship sucks. And it's just a video talking about the hardships of entrepreneurship. Also, in my other channel, I used to do these a lot, and I still do. You see me talking about these achievements in my life, a message to my future self, why I follow Jesus, how it feels to hit 10K a month. Like, look at how authentic and real that is, it seems. So, pretty cool. My 3-year battle with anxiety. Some of you might have seen that and thought, wow, this dude's kind of different from other YouTubers. Why? Because I'm just showing my failures live. It's cool. So, a really, really big warning here. Authentic does not mean oversharing. It does not mean showing everyone everything. Because there's aura and there's attractiveness in mystery. So being authentic simply means choosing to share certain moments and not sharing everything. It's a delicate balance. What I like to say is don't record yourself pooing. That's kind of the concrete phrase that you can help yourself remember this by. There's a fine balance between showing your humanity and then just oversharing to the point where people are like, ew, I don't know if I love this guy. This guy's a bit overboard. Or sharing so many flaws that people start to doubt your skill. Just remember, there's aura in mystery. Don't show everything. But also, don't be a robot. Show some failures. Show your humanity. Show the human side of you. And a good example about this is CEQ1. So I had the opportunity to have a couple guys on my team fly out and live with me for a few months. They literally lived right above me, and some of them lived in my house. And that was too much. It was definitely oversharing. And so they got to see every single part of my life, and I got to see theirs, and we're just human. So, yeah, you just don't want to overshare. It's like they start to realize that, oh man, maybe this dude's nuts. Maybe he's not the crazy leader I thought. Maybe he's just insane. And I was thinking, man, I can't work with these people because, frick me, there's just living with them 24/7 is a lot different than working with them. So yeah, important lesson, but it's all about, it's the same goes for anything. Relationships with family. Anytime you spend every waking second with anyone, you just need some alone time. the same goes for your brand. Like, don't show everything, but show some humanity. So,
So weird.
these principles lead to a feeling of safety and trust. And so when people see you as human and authentic and honest, they feel safer around you, leading to likeness and trust, which is what we're trying to achieve. Bring us to number 4, happiness and warmth. Obviously, we prefer to be happy over sad. Therefore, we like people who make us feel happy. People who smile, who give off light, who feel light. Those people are often described as warm. Warm people make us feel happy, safe, and accepted for who we are. So I want you to think about your friends that they're easy to be around. You'd prefer being with them most of the time over not being with them. Versus the friends that you love them, but you can't spend more than an hour with them because they'll drive you insane. The ones who are always negative, who are always complaining, they always have something negative to say. They're kind of cold, they're not funny, they're stressed out all the time. They feel like they have 1,000-pound weight on their back at all times. You subconsciously just don't want to be around those people because it's just stressful. It's not warm. So, people like people who seem to be enjoying life. People who laugh easily. They don't take everything too seriously. They show gratitude, excitement, and joy. Happiness is contagious, which is why we prefer to be around them. The more your audience sees you as warm, non-judgmental, and genuinely happy, the more they'll like and trust you. And so there's a lot of examples here. A great example you guys can look up is go watch some interviews with Jack Harlow. This dude has clearly studied the game, and he is just extremely warm and charismatic. So don't watch his music and stuff. Just go look at his interviews. A good one is there's one he did where they're eating the wing. What is that? Hot Ones. Go watch his Hot Ones interview. It's really, really cool. But he's a really good example of someone who just seems so stress-free and warm and just hilarious to be around. And the happier you make your audience, the more they're going to like you. Simple as that. So a good example is, think about a golden retriever. Think about a really cute dog or a puppy. They can't talk. They can't really provide any like problem-solving value. They just sit there and smile. And guess what? You take care of them, you feed them, you clean their crap up off the floor. You'll do anything for them. And you like them. Even when they're put in front of random people, the random people are like, oh, look at that good boy. Golden retrievers. Smiling. If I recorded this whole module like this, and I told you guys, people usually forget what you said, but they remember how you make them feel. Warmth is you leaving them feeling better. It just doesn't feel right because I'm not smiling. I don't seem happy. I seem stressed out and too heavy. So smile is everything. So learn how to talk with a smile. And when you're writing copy, write it positively. It just seem lighthearted and fun. And obviously there's going to be copy that's more serious than others. But ultimately, you just want to have this warm tone to your copy and to your marketing as a whole. Also, voice. Voice is huge. The speed of your voice, the volume of your voice, the rhythm, the accent, the confidence, etc. Voice is, I would say, probably one of the biggest variables when it comes to warmth and happiness is how does someone sound. Because you can tell a lot by how someone sounds. And if they're pissed off and they're loud and they're just angry, they're not smiling, you don't feel warm. On the flip side, if they're just insecure and they're not confident, they speak really quietly, you just feel weird around them. And so anytime you're doing something where it's like a video, voice is freaking crazy important. I'm studying this like crazy right now. Next is calmness. Being calm. I think of like the Joker, like why so serious? You see these people sometimes, especially in the business game, and they're just like, it's like life or death. It's like, bro, calm down. You're selling an online course. Just chill. Take a deep breath. It's not the end of the world. And so don't get caught up in this like phase where you're just so freaking serious and the weight of the world. If you don't pop off, if you don't get an outreach back, you're going to just go nuts. Nah, bro. Just let it go. It's not that big a deal. You're going to learn from it. It's all good. Why so serious? Body language is huge. Resting V-face. I suffer from this pretty hard. If you see me out in the street, I'm like But if you talk to me, I'm not like that. So I'm working on having a much more natural face where I'm just chilling, happy to be here. A great example is Neil Caffrey from White Collars. This is me and my wife's favorite freaking show. And if you want to learn how to be like a warm guy, is this guy. He's a con artist, which is why he's so good at it. But it's really cool to study his character because you'll see, like, he's a con artist, but because he's so likable, people don't want him to get caught because he's that likable. That's how good he is at creating this happiness and warmth. Another thing is telling warm and happy stories. So telling stories that are fun, lighthearted, and valuable. A good way to do this is to take freeze frames of your sales calls. So when I do this is with my videos, but you can do this with any kind of time that you're speaking or recording. So what I can do with this module is I can turn the audio off and scrub through it and see how my body language and my face is throughout most of the video. With no audio. Do this with your sales calls. Go through your sales call and just freeze a frame and think, how warm does this dude look? Like, forget that it's you. Go through the call, stop at a random point and think, does he look warm? And if you don't look warm and inviting for most of the call, you got some work to do. And a good quote is, people usually forget what you say, but they remember how you make them feel. And so what you say is important. But what's just as, if not more important, is how they felt when they were around you. Because you don't remember what somebody said a week ago, but you remember if you had a good time. So, warmth is you leaving them feeling better than you found them. Cool. Number 5, confidence with humility. So we like people who are generally successful in what they set out to do. People who don't rely on others for every little thing in their life. You've probably seen these people. You might be one of these people where you can't do anything without asking someone first. And having run this coaching offer for a long time, this is a lot of y'all. You have to ask for every single little thing. I had one guy, I can talk about it because it was a long time ago, but he asked me how to share a Google Doc. Like, that was the question he had. And I'm just like, brother, if you can't learn how to share a Google Doc on your own by Googling it or asking ChatGPT or just freaking messing around with Google, there's no way you make money in entrepreneurship. And so the opposite of that is people who get stuff done. You just tell them what you want, and somehow they always get it done. And competent people tend to attract others who want to find safety in that competence. And so a lot of the reason why most of you are here in this course, this program, is because you saw a glimpse of competence in some of my videos or some of my posts or whatever, and you thought, you know what, I want to be in that guy's program because I feel safer leaning on what he knows, leaning on his competence. And so some of you guys have proved that this is a huge component of likeness. Because even if I don't have the answers, you trust that I'll be able to go find them. So these are people that seem to get it. I trust them. I want to follow their lead. But don't get it twisted. Competence isn't just IQ or book smarts. It's not about knowing a bunch of useless crap. There's a lot of people who know a lot of stuff. Real competence is street smarts. The ability to solve problems, be creative, and get the results, and make things happen in the real world, not just on paper. They've actually done it. They've been through it. They can help me win. And this is why college degrees are misleading. Because you can hire somebody with a college degree, and their paper says they can do it. But can they actually get it done? Don't know. All that paper proves to me is they were able to study and memorize some facts the night before. That's all it proves. So yeah, competence isn't just IQ, it's the ability to just get crap done. Like, do they get the results? Not how smart are they or how many tests have they, how many certifications they have. No, bro. Do they make sales? Do they get this task done? That is competence. Now, competence can quickly lead to dislike, so this can backfire very hard as soon as you become prideful and arrogant. This is straight out of the Bible, right? We like humble people. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's simply focusing on others. So people who are arrogant, who only think about themselves and their glory, is a huge turnoff for any audience.
What?
But don't be fooled, because arrogant people can get a lot of attention, meaning a lot of likes, a lot of views, a lot of comments, etc. But they don't build trust like a humble person, and trust is what sells. That's the whole thing we're talking about. You see, we're drawn to people who are quote unquote quietly powerful. See, people like to know you're powerful without you telling them. Meaning, whenever your results, your reputation, your skill, your competence speaks for itself, that's when you build this likeness from confidence. So the more your audience sees you as competent but humble, the more they'll like and trust you. So examples is, this is really simple, but it conveys a deeper mindset and belief shift. Saying how I in a title versus how to. How to implies that you know what's best and you're going to tell them. How I just says, hey, this is how I did it. It still has the same outcome of saying, you got this result. And you're still teaching them how to get the result, but it's an attitude change. And we like people who are how I's, not how to's. A great example is Sam Sulek. So we'll look at this guy. I mean, his entire brand is just insane. So this guy is pulling, millions and millions of views because he's extremely competent in what he teaches. As you can tell by the freaking thumbnails, the dude is crazy jacked, but he's humble. If you listen to him talk, he's not going, all right, here's how you get jacked. He's just saying, yo, what's good, guys? Today we're going to hit the gym, show you guys what I eat, and we're going to get a sick pump. It's humble, but it's still extremely competent. So look at how he's showing the competence in his thumbnail by saying, hey, I'm jacked. So if you want to listen to me, great. But if not, it's okay. Really cool. Really cool example. He's actually a great example of a lot of these. Another one that happened very recently is Shedeur Sanders versus Travis Hunter. So Shedeur Sanders is Deion Sanders. He plays football, for you guys that are not from America. And they're going into the draft. And Shedeur Sanders is this really famous football player's son. He was the quarterback. He did really well. He played on the same team as Travis Hunter. Because Travis Hunter was his receiver. And during the draft, Shedeur had the most extravagant draft day setup I think anyone's ever seen. Bro had like dancers on a pole. He had this entire streaming room. He was live streaming the whole draft. And dude did not get drafted first round. He didn't get drafted first day. He didn't get drafted the second day. I think he got drafted on the third day. The most embarrassing draft stream you could have ever imagined. And his signing bonus was $400K. Now, Travis Hunter, on the other hand, was drafted in the first round for $30 million signing bonus. Shedeur had all this flashiness and talked about how he was going to go first round. He was so arrogant and prideful. And Travis Hunter was just humble. He had talked about how good he was. He just played football really well. And because of that, the NFL team saw him as a good leader, someone they wanted on their team who was going to build their brand, not tear it down with arrogance. And he was paid in proportionate to that belief. So just because this person is skilled doesn't mean it's everything. Do people like you? And football is a business, whether you like it or not. And so if somebody was going to bring on Shedeur Sanders to their brand, they were going to bring on that dislike. And so he thought because he was so good at football, he was going to just make millions of dollars immediately. But he forgot to mention that, or he forgot to realize that people disliked him. And football teams didn't want that on their team. So, pretty crazy example. Now, the ultimate example is, of course, Jesus. So Jesus was the most powerful person, because he's 100% God, 100% man, to ever walk the earth. But you wouldn't have known that just seeing him pass by, because he was humble. He didn't ride by on a horse with armies. He came on a donkey with a couple of sinners, disciples beside him. And so if you want to learn more about the Bible and Jesus, I go into detail in this at the end of the mindset course. So if you're interested, please, that'll be the most valuable thing you do in this entire life. Check it out. But he's the ultimate example of being extremely powerful, the most powerful in the world, yet humbling himself to the point of dying on the cross for us. That's it. I would be nothing without my faith in Jesus, without God saving me, without him allowing me to see Jesus being the way, the truth, the life, and handing my life over to him. That's why I do all this, is to tell people about Jesus and to teach and to serve you guys. So, ultimate example is Jesus, the most powerful person ever, yet also the most humble. And it goes right back to, people want to know how powerful you are without you telling you. Jesus would ask, who do you say I am? So he asked his disciples. Or they say, or they would, like the Pharisees and stuff would be, he's calling himself, he's like, are you the Son of God? And he'd be like, you've said so. Jesus had the most, he's the perfect example of all-knowing power, yet humility to the core. Super cool. So, moving on to humor and storytelling. So we remember people who make us feel something, especially if that feeling is happy and engaged / flow state. And this is why humor and storytelling is OP for making people like and trust you. So when you use humor to make people laugh, they remember feeling happy around you. And when you tell great stories, people are engaged. Think about that one friend who you might not have had so much in common with him. He might be a little bit dumb, but he's just freaking funny. He's just so funny to be around that you always wanted to invite him because you knew he was going to tell some stories, he's going to make jokes, he's going to be a goofball. And we just like people who do that. Because in both cases, your audience's brain releases dopamine, signaling that they enjoy being around you. So for some reason, God has hardwired us to enjoy stories. That's why Jesus taught in parables. Jesus taught in stories because the God of the universe understands his creation and people love stories. That's how people remember things. And to be honest, an entire course could be written on storytelling alone. But for now, just remember that humor and stories create heightened emotions in our audience, leaving them feeling a deeper connection with you and your message. Humor makes you likable and stories makes you memorable. So example is, think about movie and TV. That's all it is. Movies and TV is usually humor, storytelling. Comedians. We love comedians. But why? Because think about what they do. All they do is make jokes and tell stories. That's it. Yet, comedians are paid millions because we like them. We love feeling engaged and laughing. Or think about your favorite YouTubers. They probably tell stories. They probably have some humor. Songs are storytelling. So many songs the song itself is a story, meaning it's a roller coaster. It's slow, then it rises, then it crescendos and falls down, whatever the terminology is. It's a story. So, really cool. Just remember, have some humor, lighthearted, be funny, make some jokes, tell stories in your marketing. We'll go over lots of examples later, so don't worry. Number 7, reciprocity, creativity. The reciprocity principle is one of the basic laws of social psychology. And it says that in many social situations, we pay back what we've received from others. The translation is, we tend to like and feel like we owe something or owe someone who's given us something. So those who offer value immediately without asking for something back, it gives goodwill. It builds goodwill. It makes us want to return the favor, even subconsciously. So think about free value videos, lead magnets, free trainings, the free samples at Costco. If you wanted to go deeper into reciprocity, you really don't have to. You just need to understand the principle. But if you want to see all the science behind it, there's a great section in Influence talking all about it. It's Robert Cialdini's book. It's really technical and big words. I don't love big words. I like simple. But the principle is the same. Anytime you give stuff away that's valuable for free, people feel like they owe you, which means they like you more. And think about somebody who helps you out all the time. Wouldn't you like that person to be around? Yeah. So, reciprocity. Also, creativity works hand in hand with reciprocity, because when you take the time to truly create something unique and valuable, people feel more reciprocity, and the urge to pay you back is stronger, and they like you more. So, wow, that was awesome. I can't believe that was free. I feel guilty for getting that so cheap. The more you show up with generosity and creativity, giving useful, thoughtful, and unexpected value, the more people like, remember, and trust you. So one of my favorite examples is, I'm going to go back to a RuneScape YouTuber because, it's my life, guys. I love these guys. His name is Settled. And back in the day, Settled had pretty basic videos, just like everybody else. Simple thumbnails. Didn't really have a story. He was just playing the account. It's like playthrough. But in the past, 6 or 7 years, he turned his channel into telling stories through RuneScape. So he'd build an account, and the entire account would be 3 years long challenge that would make this massive story. I mean, and it's insane. 1 million people don't play this game, but he's transcended the niche because of how good he's gotten. His most recent video was a finale to his most recent account and story. It's almost got 1 million views on a RuneScape video in less than a month. That's crazy. And here's what's insane. Alright, let me skip these ads. Hold on. I'll show you guys. This is the best example that I've ever found of this, by the way. It's crazy.
Oh,
We skip this ad.
wow.
Look at the storytelling in this video real quick.
That's crazy. Doesn't make sense.
That better be that.
Weird.
I promise. We're going somewhere with this example. I promise. Just watch it. Bro, I kid you not, I shed a tear. I'm not even playing when I first watched this. These are all the accounts that he went through that died on the way to him getting to this challenge. He spent 2 years getting to this one moment. And he told the story with a freaking, this is not part of the game. This is a custom animation that took 3 people working on it. The sound was designed. He went all out on this silly game that's 25 years old. But look at what happened. I don't know if you guys can see this. It might not be inside of the frame or not. But let me see if I can get it in the frame. 1 second. So look at that. People are giving him money. He's not asking for money. All he did was upload a free YouTube video. $10, $100, $200, $20, $50, $25, $100, $50, $100, $100, $10, $100. This is insane. Look at that. 100, 50, 25, 25. People are giving him thousands of dollars, and he didn't ask for it. He didn't sell anything. All he did was make a video that told a good story. And people are throwing money at him. You can scroll down. Look, it's insane, bro. You'd have thought he sold some crazy product. He made one emotional video about a 20-year-old video game. Look at this guy. I'm in tears. That last monologue hit me so hard. Bro, it's just crazy. It's crazy. That is what I'm talking about, guys. This stuff is powerful. You're just not seeing people do it on an elite level. Oh, it's insane. So, that comes from reciprocity and creativity. When you pour your creativity into something that gives to the market, they just feel like they need to give back. They like you. Insane. Yeah. I think about when someone pays for your food. You feel like you got to get them back. You're like, oh, dude, now I owe you one. I have to pay for your food next. You owe them. Number 8, attractiveness and confidence. So we are more likely to trust and like people who are physically attractive. Now, for me and you, this could be an L, right? Some of us not so genetically gifted as others in the attractiveness column. I've come a little ways because my middle school self was, Ain't nobody liking me back then. Trying to get a girlfriend was a problem back then. But it's true, right? We are drawn to good-looking people. It's in the freaking word, attractiveness. We are attracted to people who look good. And we're more likely to like people who look good. Now, every principle we discuss in this module can play a role in your overall attractiveness. So how warm you speak, how well you smile, the things you say, being familiar. These all go into your attractiveness. But also remember that physical attractiveness is kind of a cheat code to influence. So the more attractive you can be, the more likely people are to frick with you. In a really harsh example, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but it sucks that people work this way, but this is just how people work. I don't know if you remember Corpse Husband from 2020. Corpse Husband did like a lot of the Among Us videos with a lot of famous YouTubers, and he had this super deep voice. He talked like this in all the videos, and people thought he was like super attractive. Well, someone leaked a picture that may or may not have been this guy, and he wasn't the most attractive person, and dude's brand literally fell off the cliff like that. Because he didn't show his face, everyone thought he was some like attractive anime boy, and it was just a dude in his basement that was like overweight making videos with a deep voice, and people like left just like that. And it's tough. I don't even know if the picture was actually him. That's the craziest part about it. But people are attracted to attractive people, and so we cannot all be Brad Pitt. But the lesson here is to try to look decent when you show up anywhere online. And I'm the last person to be saying this because I don't do well at this at all. I usually show up in a hoodie with my hair fricked up, and I don't really care what I look like most of the time. But just know that this is reality. People like attractive people. There's a reason why all movie stars are, for the most part, very attractive. And if they're not very attractive, what are they? They're extremely funny and warm. So it's either one of the above. Keep that in mind. Also, confident. So attractive and confidence. This one is simple. It's very simple. It ties back into the safe emotion from the text and subtext module. We feel safe around confident people. And we want to be led by people who feel confident in their own skin and their own abilities. And just think about it. Why would you place your confidence in someone who isn't confident in themselves? So if someone's not confident, it's hard for other people to be confident in them because they don't even trust themselves. But just remember that arrogance isn't the same as confidence. You can be confident in yourself without being boastful. So remember the humility principle. Example, think about the popular kids in school. I was not one of these kids because I was not confident in myself. I was super unconfident. So people didn't want to be around me because, well, I wasn't confident. Think about actors. They're usually extremely confident. Musicians, writers who write with confidence. We'll go over some examples of confident writing at the end of this module. TED Talks and speakers who speak with confidence. Imagine if I did this whole module like this. Imagine if I just said, hey, we like people who are extremely skilled at what they do. If I don't speak with confidence, these modules are going to fall flat. They're not going to work. I could go over the same exact text, but if you guys don't feel like I freaking believe this stuff, then you're not going to act on it, which means it's not going to work. Confidence is huge, and it comes from belief. So go through the belief module in the mindset module. So yeah, attractive confidence, especially when anytime you're speaking or you have someone who's making content, man, they got to be confident. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So talk about things that you've done, talk about stuff you believe in, practice being confident in front of the camera. You got to be confident. Number 9, skill and social proof. So we like people who are extremely skilled in what they do. Here's the cool part. Even if it's a skill that we aren't interested in or don't find that useful. So if someone is best in the world at something, even if it's quote unquote useless, we naturally see them as having a heightened level of aura. And this is because we ascribe more value to things that are scarce. So if there's only one person in the world who's that good, we see them as valuable because it's scarce. So an example is, you hear that an Olympic gold medalist is living in your town. And even if they're a gold medalist in the stupidest sport ever, I'm not going to say any sports, I'm not going to offend anybody, but you know what I'm talking about. Those sports where you're like, that's in the Olympics? The frick? You still find them pretty cool. You still want to probably, figure out more about them. You still want to check out their Instagram. Why? Because they're an Olympic gold medalist. Even if it's in the sweeping category, where they sweep floors, you still like, well, they're the best sweeper in the world. That's kind of cool. Let me talk to them. And I really think this is because skill signals safety and confidence. So really, skill shows that you have this competence, confidence, and it's safe. Because if someone is very skilled at the thing they do, you're likely to trust that they can get the results they say. And skill usually leads to having social proof. And social proof in persuasion is a psychological phenomenon where individuals are influenced by the actions and beliefs of others to make decisions. And so the KJ speak, the translation, the dumb version is, we're more likely to like and do stuff that other people like and do. And so if you see somebody with 1 million followers, you're more likely to follow them than somebody with 100. Because subconsciously you think, wow, if 1 million people are already following them, they're probably worth following. Even if they give you no reason to follow them besides just that number on the screen, you're more likely because of social proof. If other people are doing it, if other people like it, you want to do it and like it. Because that's how God's made us. We like community, we like to fit in. And so if other people are doing something you think, oh, okay, I'll do it. And think about this with something you thought was kind of lame or boring. Maybe something you thought was boring, wasn't that cool, but all of a sudden everybody in school gets into it and everyone starts doing it. And you're like, well, maybe it is kind of cool. Nothing changed about it besides other people like it. And now you want to like it. Example here would be athletes when it comes to skill, artists when it comes to skill. Think about artists. Like artists pop off a lot on Instagram. One, because of creativity and cool, but also because it's just skill. Like, think about when you see someone drawing a portrait with their foot. People do that. And you're like, frick me, that's pretty cool. It's stupid. It's useless. Why not just draw with your hand? Why are you drawing with your foot? I don't know. It probably stinks, right? But a stinky pencil. But it's still skill, and you're still like, that's kind of cool. And so skill goes into liking, influence. Another example would be speedrunners. So I've seen videos of people speedrunning Mario Kart and speedrunners who try to get diamonds in Minecraft. It's the most stupid, useless thing ever, but it still requires a lot of skill and talent. And those people have a lot of followings. And you're kind of like, wow, that's kind of cool. Like we talked about, people with a lot of followers, it's easier to follow people. It's a snowball because the more people who follow you, the more people are likely to follow you because they see other people doing it. Monkey see, monkey do. They talk about this a lot in YouTube circles, but there's like a 10K sub ceiling.
Okay. I think I'm done for the night. I'm just getting tired. That was almost an hour and 45 minutes or so. Okay, and then I got. I designed it again. I'm just having fun right now with these. To me, they're pretty. I don't know if they will sell. I'm gonna fix this. I just wanted to keep it just in case. It's kind of like the color. I love this color. I like pastel. And it doesn't seem like much. Oh wait, is that double? Yes, it is. Why not double? Yeah. Oops. Man. The same. So I got about 23 supposedly, but it's not really 23. Okay. 23. So that makes it, if I really look through each one of these, and most likely I would finalize. It says total I have is 97, right? Most likely I would finalize 70. So let's say 70. 70. So that means I won't do it until Tuesday, if anything. I'm still behind. I'm supposed to be at 192. So I'm still behind. That means tomorrow, if I wake up early, which I probably won't, I'm actually exhausted right now. Probably won't. $61 hours. Oh my goodness. If I were 61 hours, 40 hours a week, if I were doing full time, 8 hours a day, but I didn't do that. 3 weeks already. Let's see. This is last week's. I got 70 design, supposedly, and then 32 designs in the first week because I was busy setting things up. And this week, I don't know yet. It says 97, but for sure. Oh, it seems like I can do things faster, but you know, it doesn't mean they're quality. It's just quantity-wise. I'm getting used to the AI and the prompt and asking AI to generate the prompt for me, and using a little bit of Bailey's prompt itself as inspiration. I haven't gone to I'm just not skilled enough yet to create my own, but I'm using what I have and then kind of using the prompt and asking AI to generate for me. What else? So I do feel like every week I'm gonna be able to do it much faster. It feels like I am on top. Eventually I'm gonna get there, especially around this time. I will have more time. This week I spent 18 hours. Last week was 18 hours. Week before it was only 2 hours. Oh, okay. I'm gonna need to spend at least 6-7 hours alone just to get the designs finalized and mocked up. That's like a once a week type of thing I've been doing. Okay. Well, overall, that's it. I'm done. And let's see if I have time tomorrow. If not, then I'm gonna get back on maybe Tuesday night, maybe. But I still have to do Eddie's stuff. I did kind of work on it a little bit, but I'm behind. Okay. Bye.